We are moving on to Game 9 of our King of the Hill tournament, On Deck Baseball Pro, the newest version of On Deck Baseball. In the last game, the 1927 New York American League Club defeated the 1970 Minnesota Club as a score of 9-6. Some of the standouts in that game were Lou Gehrig had 3 RBIs in the game. Bob Musial had 1 RBI. He went 2 for 5 with a triple. And Babe Ruth, 2 RBIs, a double, a single, a walk. And, it just runs all over there, but nine runs. So one thing that was pretty surprising about this game was it was a very sloppy game. I think I had 7 error checks on that game. Minnesota looks like they had 3 of those errors. So a very sloppy game there, but we're moving on now to Game 9, and the next team to enter our tournament is the 1909 Pittsburgh National League Ball Club. This is a team that featured the Flying Dutchman. I'm going to go through the lineup real quick. A lot of players that were unfamiliar to me, as my knowledge of baseball is pretty vast, but going back to the early 1900s, and I learned a lot building these teams. We got Bobby Byrne, Tommy Leach, Fred Clark. I did hear of Fred Clark. Here's the Flying Dutchman, Honus Wagner, a .339 batting average, 5 home runs, stole 36 bases. He was pretty widely known as the best player in the game in the early 1900s. Dots Miller, gotta love some of these names. Bill Abstein, Chief Wilson, George Gibson, he's going to be doing the catching behind the plate. And then the DH, since we do have a DH in this tournament, is going to be William Barbeau. Excuse me if I mispronounce some of these names. I'm not sure exactly how to do all of them 100%. On the mound for Pittsburgh, we'll have Vic Willis. Looking him up, he had some pretty good seasons in the early 1900s for Pittsburgh. In 1909, he had an ERA of 2.24, a 1.13 whip. He went 22-11 for his record and 24 complete games. So he completed more games than he had wins, which was pretty normal back then for the star pitchers of the teams. On the mound for 27 New York, we're going to have Urban Shocker. When I do these matchups and I pull these teams randomly, I do try to do matchups favorably for the pitchers. Their typical number 2 starter for New York was Herb Pennock, but I chose to go with Urban Shocker over Pennock for the only reason that he is better against right-handed bats, and Pittsburgh 1909 has a lot of righties in their lineup. For Pittsburgh, their starting pitcher, you want to go lefty strong if you can against 27 because of Ruth and Gehrig, but unfortunately they don't have anybody with huge numbers against left-handed batters, and Vic Willis is their ace, so I went with him. As far as fatigue goes for the 27 Yankees, White Hoyt did pitch late into the game, but he had Shalke come in relief and Wilsey Moore. So Shalke and Moore both have 1 fatigue point each. They are available in the game, but they would come in not completely rested. So, all that said, let's move on to the next ball game. We got 1909 Pittsburgh visiting the home team, 1927 New York American League, featuring Murderers Row. We're going to go ahead and switch up these pitchers. Get Vic Willis over to the Yankees, and Urban Shocker taking on the 1909 Pittsburgh Ball Club. All right, as usual, I have my little grids to make it easier for the pitchers. Definitely a good way to do it. And we're going to go ahead and do the first pitch here, as Bobby Byrne will be leading off against Urban Shocker. We'll go ahead and flip these guys around, and let's get moving. Byrne is a right-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. It's going to be a -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. And the first play of the game is a single for Byrne. Now, Pittsburgh does use and utilize a lot of speed. I'm not sure I'm going to do that early on. Collins is behind the plate for 27 New York, and he only has a 2-arm, so that may play into this as New York tries to be the second team to advance past 1 win in this tournament. All right, righty versus righty as Tommy Leach is up. It's a -1 again. That's going to be a batter's card for Leach. And a blue 7, red 5 is a walk. So Shocker getting into a little trouble here. No outs as the first two batters of the ball game reach. That's going to bring up Fred Clark. He is a left-handed batter. It's going to be +1 now on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card. 4-2 is a pop-out, so no runners will advance on the pop-out. And the pop-out goes to second base. 1 away. And here comes Flying Dutchman, Honus Wagner. Obviously strong against both armed pitchers. And a pretty nice looking back of the card there. He is a righty, so it's going to be equal on the roll. It is going to be a batter's card for Wagner. 10-5 is a walk, and we have bases loaded to start off the ball game. 1 away. Dots Miller now coming up. Dots, pretty good overall hitter in the early 1900s, a .279 batter, 3 home runs. Obviously, they didn't have the home run burst out of into the ball game in the MLB yet. Not until about 1920 with Ruth. So Miller is a right-handed batter. It's going to be -1. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 6-3 is a flyout. And we might have a sacrifice fly here. The flyout goes to left. Left fielder Musial has a 5-arm cannon out there in left. Byrne, it's only a 40% chance, but I think we are going to try it to try and get an early lead here for 1909 Pittsburgh. We'll go ahead and roll 1 die. We roll a 2, and he is safe. Other runners will advance on the throw, and we have a sacrifice fly by Dots Miller to put the first run up on the scoreboard for Pittsburgh. Bill Abstein now coming up. It is second and third with 2 away. -1 on the roll here. That's going to be a batter's card. And the red 8, blue 3 is a flyout to left field, so that will do it. 1 run and 2 walks net the 1909 Pittsburgh Ball Club 1 run as we go into the bottom of the first. Vic Willis, the ace of the 1909 Pittsburgh Ball Club, will take the ball and go up against Earl Combs to lead off for 1927 New York. Combs had a pretty good game the last game. He had 4 hits and scored 3 runs, one of those hits being a double. Combs is a left-handed batter. It's going to be +2 as a batter's card. 9-7 is a double, another double for Combs in the tournament. And right away we have a man on second, nobody out, and Mark Koenig coming up, switch hitter. It's going to be equal on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Koenig. 9-8 is a base hit plus. What that means is, it doesn't matter your speed, anybody can choose to advance. We're going to see where this ball goes. Ball goes to left. Left field is Fred Clark. He is a 4-arm. Do we want to try and score? It is a 60% chance. I think we are. And you know what? I think they're going to throw the ball in to second to hold the runner. So Combs will score to tie things up as Koenig gets a 1 RBI single. And there's 1 on, nobody out. And the Sultan of SWAT coming up, Babe Ruth. Lefty hitter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-8. The hits continue. A base hit for Babe Ruth. Koenig will move over to second. And now the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, steps up to the plate. So there are 2 on. Men on first and second. Nobody out. Left-handed batter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That is easily a batter's card. 3-2, though, is a strikeout. First out of the inning. Bob Musial coming up. Musial had that great first game. It is going to be righty versus righty. It's a -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 8-4 is a ground out. We have a possible double play here. Ground out goes to the catcher, and that's going to be an out at first as runners will advance. So a 2-3 as a little dribbler allows the runners to advance. Musial is out on the ground ball, and I'll bring up Lazari, men on second and third with 2 away. It's going to be a -1. That is a pitcher's card. 6-6 is a line out, and that will do it. The line out to third base to end the inning. But the Yanks do score 1 on 3 hits to tie it up. going into the top of the second inning. Urban Shocker still on. Chief Wilson will be leading off. Wilson, 273 hitter, 4 home runs. Some interesting players in that 1909 ball club. Left-handed batter, it's going to be +1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 5-4 is a ground out to shortstop. George Gibson making his way up to the plate. I love these old-timey catcher's gear. I was a catcher from high school through college, so I can really appreciate some of the old gear, as even my stuff looks old now compared to what they're wearing these days. -1 on the roll, that's going to be a batter's card. 6-1 is a pop out, so Gibson gets jammed and pops it back to the catcher. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, William Barbeau. -2 on the roll, that's going to be a pitcher's card. And a 4-4 is a ground out. So that'll do it here as Barbeau grounds out to third base for the final out of the top of the second. And Willis still on the mound as he will face off against the catcher, Pat Collins. Collins went 0 for 4 in the previous game with a walk. His right-handed batter is going to be -3. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 7-1 is a pop out. So Collins still looking for his first hit of the tournament as he pops out to short for the first out of the bottom of the second. Joe Dugan coming up. Dugan had a pretty good game. He reached 4 times. Sorry, he reached all 5 times. 2 of those were errors, though. He did have 3 singles, score 2 runs, and have an RBI. It is -3 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-1 is a strikeout. So they finally figure out a way to keep Dugan off bases here. 2 away. Mike Gazilla coming up. Right-handed batter, -3. That's going to be a batter's card. 9-4 is a flyout plus, a flyout. It could be in the gap. It goes to the center fielder. Center fielder is Leach. He is a 3 fielder. So that 3 fielding will go up against the gap rating here for Gazilla, who is a 5. So it is a +2 on a roll. So 6 and above, it will fall in for base hit. And it is not. That is a flyout to center. 3 away as each pitcher goes 1, 2, 3 here in the second inning. Urban Shocker now facing off against the leadoff hitter, Bobby Byrne. Byrne, right-handed hitter, -1. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-2 is a ground out to third base. Tommy Leach now stepping to the plate. Right-handed batter, -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Leach. 9-7 is a base hit. He reaches for the second time as he walked his first at bat. That's going to be man on first with 1 away, and Fred Clark coming up. Left-handed batter, he is going to be +1 on the roll. That's a pitcher's card. 5-2 is a flyout to right field, 2 away. And here comes Wagner. Wagner, a right-handed batter. It's equal. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 3-2 is a flyout. So they get Wagner out to end the inning as he flies out to left. So that'll go back over to the bottom of the third now. Earl Combs leading off for 27 New York. Left-handed batter, +2 on the roll. That is a batter's card for Combs. 3-2 is a ground out to first base. Good old 3U. Mark Koenig now up, 1 away. Switch hitter, it's going to be equal. That's a batter's card for Koenig. And 2-1 is a strikeout. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Willis. And Babe Ruth will make his way to the plate. Left-handed batter, +2 here on the roll. That is a batter's card. Lost one of my die. And 10-4 is a base hit, so Ruth has his 2nd hit of the game. 2 outs, man on, and Gehrig walking up to the plate. Gehrig 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his first at-bat. It is +2 on the roll here. That's going to be batter's card. 6-5 is a base hit. Gehrig reaches. Ruth good chance going to third. Let's see where it goes. It goes to center field, a 3-arm. Yeah, looks like it's just going to be a bloop single. We're going to have men on first and second now. Actually, there were 2 outs, so Ruth does take third as he was running on contact. So first and third, 2 away. Bob Musial coming up as 27 New York is threatening. It's going to be -1 on this roll. That is a batter's card from Musial. 8-4 is a ground out. Willis will get out of the inning. A 3-1 will end it as the threat is over. And we're going to head back over to the top of the 4th. And Dots Miller leading off for Pittsburgh. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning and gave Pittsburgh a brief lead in the game, as it is now tied 1-1. -1 on the roll. That's going to be a 2. So a pitcher's card 10-1 is a ground out. To second base, 4-3. Bill Absteen now up. -1. That's going to be batter's card. 9-4 is a ground out. That'll be 2 away as the shortstop, Koenig, makes the play, 6-3. Chief Wilson now up. Left-handed batter. It's going to be a +1 on the confrontation roll. That's going to be batter's card for Wilson. 6-3 is a line out to end the inning. And the line out goes to the third baseman. 3 away. Heading back over now to the bottom of the 4th. New York looking to get some more offense here as Lazzari will lead off the frame. It's going to be -1. That's going to be going down to a pitcher's card. 8-6 is a base hit. Lazzari reaches with a leadoff single, bringing up Pat Collins. Collins still looking for his first hit of the tournament. It is a -3 on a confrontation roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Collins. 5-4 is a ground out. Possible double play here. Ground out goes to second base. Miller is a 3. A 3 on Lazzari. Not great chances to reach there, but he does beat it out. 4-6, and the shortstop is Wagner. He is a 5. And they will get out the out at first. So that's just going to turn into a 4-3. As the runner advances to second, is in scoring position with 1 away. Joe Dugan up. -3 is a pitcher's card. 8-8 is a base hit. Lazzari with that speed is going to most likely score. We're going to see where it goes. It goes to left. Clark does have a 4-arm. Yeah, he's going to score. We're not going to take the chance on throwing. We're going to hold that runner at first. So an RBI single by Joe Dugan puts the 27 New York Ball Club up by 1. And Mike Godzilla now coming up with a man on first and 1 away. -3 on the roll is a pitcher's card. 7-4 is a ground out. Another possible double play here. Ground out goes to third. Third baseman Byrne is a 4. So a 4 on Dugan. He needs an 8 to beat it to second. He does not get it. That is a 5-4. And a second baseman, Miller, is a 3. And it's about 50-50 here. And Godzilla does beat it out. So fielder's choice, 5-4. 2 away. Man on first. And Earl Combs coming up. Combs is a lefty. It's going to be +2 on the roll. Batter's card for Combs. 8-4 is a base hit. Combs continues to hit as Godzilla will head to third. We have men on first and third with 2 away, and Mark Koenig coming up. Switch hitter, it's going to be equal here. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-1, it looks like Willis will get it out of the inning with a fly out to end it to right field. Now as we head into the 5th, we do have to do a fatigue chart check on Urban Shocker. His stamina is a max innings of 4, but that endurance is really helping him out here as he has 60% chance of no change. We roll an 8. That is a -2 that's going to hurt. If any of these numbers reach 0, the pitcher needs to be replaced in the ball game, as that left-handed attribute is going to go down to 0, and we are going to have a pitching change here, as Shocker will be removed from the ball game. And we need to see who we are going to put in now. And it looks like we are going to bring in Moore. Now remember, Moore has 1 fatigue point already, so that is going to affect him when he comes into this game. But he is a 3 innings, so we need somebody who can last a little bit more than just a couple of innings to get into the late innings of this ball game. So he is going to come in as a 3-4 as opposed to a 4-5, since he does have 1 fatigue point pre-existing. Go ahead and make that change. He is a right-handed pitcher. And a 3-4 is still pretty good, so that's nothing to worry about. All right, George Gibson will be leading off. He is 0 for 1, popped out to catcher. And it is a -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Gibson. 4-3 is a ground out to third base. And Barbeau, 1 away, last batter in the lineup. Right-handed batter, it's a -2. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 6-1 is a line out to second base. Leadoff hitter now coming up with 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Bobby Byrne. -1. That is a batter's card for Byrne. 5-2 is a pop out to third base. That is 3 away. Gonna head back over now to the bottom of the 5th with New York up 2-1. And Babe Ruth making his way to the plate. Willis still on the mound. He has a max stamina of 5, so he is still good to go. Left-handed batter. It's going to be +2 on the roll here. That is a batter's card for Ruth. 9-3 is a fly out, though. Ruth will fly out to right. Lou Gehrig now, 1 for 2 in the ball game. He is going to be a +2 as well. That's a pitcher's card for Gehrig. 7-3 is a pop out. Gehrig will pop out to right field. And Bob Musial now up with 2 away. Right-handed batter, it's going to be a -1. That is a batter's card from Musial. 9-1 is a flyout, and that flyout goes to center. So a 1-2-3 inning for Willis here in the bottom of the 5th, as New York still leads 2-1, and Moore facing off against Tommy Leach to lead off the top of the 6th. -1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 5-3 is a ground out to shortstop. Fred Clark now up with 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Left-handed batter, it's equal. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-1 is a situation. All right, so we haven't had one of these in a few games. I'll go ahead and get our situation matrix. We're going to roll 2 die here. 8-9 is on the right fielder, which is Babe Ruth. So something could possibly happen here to Ruth. We're going to roll 1 die on the right field situation chart. It is an 8. Batter hits liner into the gap between center and right fields. Ball falls for a single and runner eyes second. Right fielder picks up the ball and throws a rocket to second, trying for the out. If right fielder's arm plus the batter's speed is less than 8, arm plus roll plus the batter's speed is less than 8, the batter is out. So the arm for Ruth is a 4. Clark's speed is a 4, so that is a wash. So if this roll now is less than 8, the batter's going to be out. It is an 8, so the runner is going to, as Clark beats out a strong throw by Ruth and is in there with a 1-out double. So at least Ruth isn't injured. That's definitely nice. I had an injury to Josh Gibson earlier in the tournament, which I was kind of upset to see. I wanted to see how Josh would do in the tournament. And Honus Wagner will come up now with a man in scoring position and 1 out. He is a right-handed batter. It's going to be equal on the roll. That is a batter's card for Wagner. A 6-1, though, is a line out to third base, 2 away. Dots Miller now coming up to the plate. 2 on, 1 man on second, and it is a -1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 10-9, blue 10, red 9 is a double. Dots Miller coming through with his second RBI of the game, and it ties it up at 2. 2 away now, and another man in scoring position, and Bill Abstein coming up. -1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-2 is going to be a possible wild pitch or passed ball. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the pitcher's accuracy, which is a 4, the catcher Pat Collins fielding, which is a 3. So that's going to be combined for a -7 on the roll. We're going to roll 2 die. If it turns into a negative number, it won't be a pass ball or wild pitch, but if it is a positive number, it will be something that will move this runner into scoring position. So we'll roll 2 here. That's going to be a 13 on the roll -7, and that is going to be a 6, which is a wild pitch, and Dots Miller will end up on third with a wild pitch as one gets away from Wilcie Moore, and Pat Collins is not able to come up with it. So with a man now on third base and 2 away, we're going to do that roll all over again for Abstein, the right-handed batter. It's going to be -1. That is going to be a pitcher's card. And 10-8 is a single. That run is going to score an RBI single by Abstein to put 1909 Pittsburgh ahead. So, here in the top of the 6th, a little bit of action going on, situation charts and wild pitches. And that's going to bring up Chief Wilson now with a man on and 2 away. Left-handed batter, it's going to be equal. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-7 is another base hit. Something's going on here with Moore. And Abstein's going to be at third as he was running on contact with the 2 outs. Let's see where that goes. That goes to right field, who has a 4-arm with Ruth. I don't think we're going to attempt to score here. Gibson now up, George Gibson. He's a right-handed batter. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Moore. And 2-2 is a strikeout as Moore gets out of the inning but allows 2 runs on a couple of doubles, a couple of singles, and a wild pitch as Pittsburgh leads after 5.5, 3-2. Now Willis, we've reached his max stamina of 5. We're going to have to roll on his first column here. 7 is no change, so he is good to go. And he will be facing off against Lazari to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Right-handed batter, it's going to be -1. That's going to be a batter's card. 7-3 is a flyout to left. Pat Collins now coming up, 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Right-handed batter, -3. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 10-6 is a base hit. Pat Collins has his first hit of the tournament, folks. I like to see catchers performing well. Joe Dugan coming up now. He had an RBI single in the bottom of the 4th. Comes up with a man on and 1 away. -3. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 3-1 is a ground out, possible double play to end the inning here. Ground ball goes to third base. Third base is Byrne, who is a 4. 4 on Collins. He is already out. Turn is second baseman Dots Miller, who is a 3. 40% chance Dugan beats it out, and he does. So he reaches on a fielder's choice, 5-4. And we have 1 on and 2 away. Mike Gazzilla coming to the plate. -3 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-2 is a pop out to end the inning to the shortstop. And now we head over to the top of the 7th. William Barbeau leading off for 1909 Pittsburgh. -2 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-1 is a strikeout. Heading back now to the top of the order. And Bobby Byrne, he is 1 for 3 and scored a run in the first inning. It's going to be -1 on the roll. It's going to be a batter's card for Byrne. 5-2 is a pop out to the shortstop. And now we have Tommy Leach with 2 away. Going to be -1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card. 8-2 is a ground out. So Moore has a 1-2-3 inning here. As a ground ball to second base will end it. And we head back over to 1927 New York and the bottom of the 7th. The leadoff man, Earl Combs, stepping up to the plate. This is the second inning past max stamina for Willis. We're going to have to roll 1 die. Roll 1, which is no change again. Excuse me. All right. Earl Combs, a left-handed batter. It's going to be +1 on the roll. As a batter's card for Combs, 8-7 is a base hit. Combs reaches to lead the inning off. He is a 5-speed. The catcher, Gibson, is a 3-arm. You know what? New York needs this run to tie. We're going to try and steal here. Combs had 15 stolen bases in 1927. He is a 3 jump against a run, hold runners of a -3, so 6 and above against a no advantage. He does get the jump, so we're going to try and steal second base against a, I believe I said a 3-arm. So we got a 70% chance of making it here, a 10, and he does. So Combs reaches second on a stolen base, no outs, and Mark Koenig coming up. Switch hitter, it's going to be a it's going to be equal. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 8-9, base hit. Combs is going to come around to score with no throw. Koenig in with an RBI single. And just like that, 27 New York has tied up the ball game 3-3. Babe Ruth now coming up. Man on first and nobody out. Left-handed batter +2. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 6-1 is a pop out, so nothing's going to happen here as Ruth pops out to the first baseman. Lou Gehrig coming up, man on first and 1 away now. He is a +2 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Gehrig. 4-2 though is a strikeout. Gehrig strikes out for the 2nd time in the game. He did not have many strikeouts. Well, actually 84 Ks in 1927. Wasn't expecting that. Bob Musial now up with 2 away, man on first. He is a right-handed batter. It's going to be -1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card. Can Musial put the Yankees New York team ahead? 5-5 is a ground out. He will not. That ground ball goes to third to end the inning. 5-3. So now we have Wilcie Moore going into his 4th inning. His max stamina is a 3. So we're going to have to roll here. Unless we want to do a pitch and change. Let's see who we have. And let's see, we have lefties coming up. We got one lefty coming up. I think we are going to see a pitch and we're going to roll on him. We're going to roll, see where we can go with this. So 1 column for 1 inning. We're going to roll 1 die. A 4 is no change, so we get lucky there. With Moore staying in the game and Fred Clark leading off the top of the 8th. Left-handed batter is equal on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Clark. 8-3 is a ground out plus. That ground ball goes to shortstop. It's going to go off of his arm, which is a 2 for Koenig, and risk first base. So there's a chance that Clark will beat this ball out. We roll an 8, and he does. An infield single for Clark. 1 on and nobody out. Honus Wagner now coming up. His equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Wagner. 10-3 is a flyout. He gets Wagner in a big-time situation here. Flyout to left. As Moore stays out of trouble against the Wagner bat. A right-handed batter here for Dots Miller. It's a -1 on a roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Miller. 1-1 is a strikeout. 2 away, man on first. Bill Abstein up now. Right-handed batter, it's going to be -1 on a roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-3 is a walk. So there are now 2 men on with 2 outs. And Chief Wilson coming to the plate. Left-handed batter is equal. That's going to be a batter's card for Wilson. 9-2 is a ground out. Moore will get out of it as the ground out to second will end the inning. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th and tie ball game between 1909 Pittsburgh and 1927 New York. And we are going to have to roll now on Willis's 3rd column, 3rd inning past max stamina, 1 die. We roll a 10, it is a -1, so his ratings go down to a 2-4 now. That is the first change that he has had as he goes into his 8th inning of work. Tony Lazzari will lead things off. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Equal on the roll now. Batter's card for Lazzari. 10-4 is a walk. He reaches on a walk. Nobody out. Man on first, and Pat Collins coming up, who had his first hit of the tournament last inning. -2 on the roll. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 5-3 is a flyout to right field, 1 away. Joe Dugan now up. It's going to be a -2 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Dugan. 8-3 is a flyout to center field, 2 away. And Mike Gazzella coming up. He is 0 for 3. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the bottom of the 4th. -2 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 8-4 is a ground out. I'll do it here in the bottom of the 8th as a ground ball to shortstop will end the inning. Alright, I think we're going to have to take out more this time, and we're going to bring in Herb Pennock, as the Yankees, New York team, are really looking for this win. Moore goes 4 innings. So this is almost turned into a bullpen game for the Yanks. And now we have a left-handed pitcher. It was a 4-2, and he can go 4 innings. Alright, so Gibson will be leading things off. Kind of not great against righties. It's going to be a +1. That is a batter's card for Gibson. 8-8 and a single plus. That single goes to left field. Left field, a firearm. He's going to stay in at first with a leadoff single, as he is now 1 for 4 in the ball game. And William Barbeau coming up to the plate. Right-handed batter. He's going to be equal on the roll here. It's going to be a batter's card for Barbeau. 5-4 is a flyout. Sorry, just my camera here. And that flyout goes to right, 1 away. Man on first, Bobby Byrne coming up, leadoff hitter for 1909 Pittsburgh. And he is a right-handed batter, so it's going to be +1. That's going to be a batter's card. 5-2 is a pop-out. First base, 2 away. And Tommy Leach coming up. Leach 1 for 3 in the ball game. Reached on a single and a walk. He is a right-handed batter as well. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be batter's card for Leach. And 4-3 will get them out of the inning here. A fly out to left. And we're going into the bottom of the ninth, tie ball game. All knotted up at 3 with the 27 New York Ball Club's top of the order coming up. We do need to roll on Vic Willis as he is now going into his 4th inning past his max stamina. We will roll on him. He gets a 9 as a -2. That's going to remove him from the ball game. Willis has to come out. So now with a reliever coming in, Yankees have the top of the order, a bunch of lefties, and they do not really have great pitchers against lefties here in their bullpen. So we're going to bring in Sam Weaver, it was only a 2, but he can go 3 innings should there continue to be a tie. So they do have other pitchers, but their longer staminas don't really want to use them just in case they do advance. So Weaver can go 3. He is a right-handed pitcher at 2-3. And Earl Combs will be leading off left-handed bat. So he is a +3. That is a batter's card. 6-5, and right away we have a man on first with a single. And does Combs steal his second base of the game, trying to get it into scoring position? I think we got to give it a shot, right? Hold runners is a -2, jump is a 3, so it's a +1, and he does not get the jump, so he does not steal. And Mark Koenig will come up with a man on and nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. Left-handed batter, as he's a switch hitter, it's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Koenig. 9-4 is a base hit. If we had stolen there, that quite possibly could have won the ball game. It's going to fall in, and we have first and second, and Babe Ruth coming up in a big spot here. So Ruth, with men on first and second and nobody out, left-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. It is a +3. That's going to be a batter's card for Ruth. 7-6 is a base hit. Combs round in third. We're going to see where that ball goes. That ball goes to the right fielder. The right fielder is Chief Wilson with a 3-arm, and they are obviously going to try for it, as Combs is going to try for the winning run. He has a 70% chance of making it here. We roll 1 die. 10, and he scores a winning run as Ruth comes through with an RBI single to win the ball game, as 1927 New York advances to the next game, the second team in the King of the Hill tournament to do so, as they beat 1909 Pittsburgh 4-3. So a great way to end it there, as 1909 Pittsburgh can't come through with a victory, but they do put up a fight, much better fight than the 1970 Minnesota team did last game. So we're going to go ahead and look at the score sheet here, as we have a game-winning RBI by Ruth, and we got to give him probably the player of the game just on that alone. He did go 3 for 5 in the ball game, all singles. Some other notable players, Earl Combs obviously scoring 3 runs, a double, a stolen base. I think we got to give them co-players of the game, honestly. As far as pitching goes, that's going to give Pennick the victory. Shocker and Moore both with a no decision. Willis gets a no decision himself. Weaver for 1909 Pittsburgh picks up the loss. Shocker only went 4 innings. He gave up only 1 hit. He got pulled early. Very unusual there, but that was a high roll with a low probability of happening, and sometimes that happens. Hey, it's baseball. 2 walks. He struck out none while facing 16 batters. Didn't give up a home run. Nobody gave up a home run here. For Will C. Moore, he gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks, while facing 18 batters. Koenig came in for 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, didn't give up any runs, no walks, didn't strike out any, faced 4 batters. On the Pittsburgh side, Willis pitched a remarkable game, really. Unfortunately, he had to hand the ball over in the 9th, but he went 8 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 hits. And I say remarkable ball game, that's because he faced a 1927 New York American League team, Murderers Row, who absolutely obliterated the 1970 Minnesota team last game. 3 runs allowed. And only walked 1 while striking out 1, 2, 3, 4 batters. Faced 27 batters and no home runs allowed. So 27 New York still has not hit a home run in the tournament. That is kind of unusual. And whoever came in did not get an inning pitched here, as he gave up 3 consecutive singles that gave up the winning run. And now I'll do it. 27 New York moves on. As I said, only the 2nd team to do that in the tournament. Some great action going on in this one. Situation chart play, stolen base, wild pitch, a lot of stuff going on. 27 New York advances. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Again, this is the King of the Hill tournament for On Deck Baseball Pro, the newest version of On Deck Baseball. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay video. As always, thank you for joining me, and we'll see who 1927 New York faces in the next game on the next video. Hope you join me. Thanks. Bye.